Hello and welcome. My name is Jason Newland. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. You may find yourself during this recording and video relaxing, and your mind might drift. And even though this isn't a sleep recording, if you're used to listening to me doing my sleep recordings, you may find yourself drifting. And you don't need complete silence for this, because it isn't a sleep session. And also, it's summer, it's in the middle of the day, and I have neighbours who, I think a lot of them maybe have hearing issues because they have very, very loud music or televisions and stuff. So I think it's a case of one neighbour has it loud, and then the next neighbour has it louder to block out that neighbour, and then the next neighbour has it loud to block out that neighbour. So it's kind of that, a little bit like that, which is why I have cotton wool in my ears. I don't. So this recording is going to be focusing on stop worrying. And there's lots of different techniques you can use to help you to reduce your anxiety, to increase your relaxation. And these are things that I've been focusing on for the last 18 years, doing these videos and podcasts. So this recording, although it's on YouTube as well, will also be available on my podcast with music, 5-hour version and a 10-hour version. And the sound quality will be better as well than it is on the video. Hopefully the sound quality is okay on the video, but the audio quality on a podcast is a lot better. So today I'm just going to focus on one particular exercise that you can do. And this is something that it's quite easy to do. I don't like difficult. I don't do difficult. Everything I do has to be quite simple. I mean, I'm lazy. Look, I should be pulling this up, but I can't be bothered. If I did that, I'll probably look better. That's it. But I can't be bothered to do it because I'm lazy. So I like things to be easy and simple. So one of the things this is about is very simple, very easy to do, very basic. Now I know that sometimes worrying can be just the worst thing ever. If it's, worrying about something that's going to happen in the future, worrying about something which is worse, worrying something that may not happen in the future, worrying about stuff that has already happened. Two of those are completely irrelevant, in a sense of worrying about something that's already happened. Well, there's not really any point worrying about that. It's done. You can't change what's happened. Worrying about something that might or might not happen, or possibly will never happen, is equally as pointless. And then worried about something that maybe is going to happen. Like you might be worrying about your first day at work, or first day at college or school, or worrying about going to a public event like a wedding or a job interview or something like that. Now that's going to happen if you choose for it to happen. So yeah, those are the things that you can focus on and maybe do something with. But saying that, you can also help to reduce the anxiety and the emotions, just the emotions really, connected to past events that have already happened. You can't do anything about them. You can't change, like, it's happened. But you can do something about the emotions connected to them. In the same way about worrying about something that may or may not happen, you can change the emotions connected to them. But that's more imagination about something that has not happened yet or may not happen. So it's all imagination. When you think back to something that has happened, I've just been heckled by a plastic bottle. That's weird. When you think about something that has already happened, then you are using your imagination when you think back to that event. However, you can remember it. You can choose how you remember it. And also, it's worth remembering, and this is a psychological fact, not my own opinion, from studies done, human beings have a tendency to mix and muddle up different memories sometimes. So depending on how far back you're going, it can be not necessarily exactly how you remember it. And that's normal. That's the way our brains are. It's nothing, doesn't make you weird or anything. It's just, that's how we are. Of course, some things you remember, and I'll remember very clearly, perhaps. But still, even something that happened yesterday today is not the same feeling. And you'll have noticed something yesterday that maybe you've forgotten today. And then tomorrow and in a week's time, you'll think back to that thing and maybe you'll miss something out. And the feeling will be different. It's almost, I guess, like a jigsaw puzzle, a picture of a jigsaw puzzle. And as time goes by, bits of that jigsaw puzzle are taken out. So you can still, after a week, you can still see what it is. After a month, maybe a year, you can still see what the picture is. But the longer you go, the more bits are taken out. And I guess maybe that's how the memory is. It's like, well, you've got to work a little bit harder to, I don't know why I put it in my cheekbone instead of my head, to put the picture back together. I mean, sometimes you might think, it might be worth thinking, why am I trying to put the picture back together? Because it wasn't a nice memory anyway. What benefit, what use is this to me? So here's something you can do when you think about something that, we'll do something from the past first, then we'll do something from the future. So we'll focus on a past event. I'm not going to go far back, and I don't want you to think about anything like super serious. Just something that you worry about something from the past, but it doesn't have to be super serious. This is not a therapy session. I can't be there with you to support you emotionally because I'm behind a camera or behind a computer screen or podcast, whatever. So when you listen to my recordings, it's up to you what you do, but try and keep it to more average level emotional stuff. Okay? And you can test it with the smaller stuff. Alright, so if you think about something, I'll do it with you. I like to do stuff with you. So, and this is something I was thinking about last night. So I practiced it a little bit as well. I need a hobby, really. I've got too much time on my hands. So all it is, and the basic theory behind this, the basic idea is simply when you have a memory or when you think forward to something, it's imagination. Even a memory is an imagination because it's not necessarily exactly how it was, as we've already discussed. But when you've got that memory, if it's in colour, just think about it. The colour is the part which is the emotions. The actual memory, whether it's a video, whether it's a picture, whether it's auditory, maybe just you can hear it, but maybe there's sound. There's other sound connected to it. There's music, or there's voices, or the people talking, whatever. When you take that off, when you remove that stuff that's placed on top of it, because that's the emotion. You remove the emotion, all you're left with is just the facts. You're just left with the simple facts of what it is. So there's no judgment, there's no added stuff. And things that only affect us, the only real effect anything has on us is how we are emotionally affected by it. Any event, it's the emotions that's connected. That's the only way that we're affected, really. Of course, we can be financially affected by something and not care, potentially, but generally we are affected by things because it's emotionally affecting us. But not everything has to have or needs those emotions connected, if you choose not to. And it's not about removing all emotions, because then we wouldn't be human. But maybe removing some or all, or just a few little bits of the emotions connected to an event that has previously upset you or worried you, really like concerned you in the past. You can just feel differently when you think about it, which then changes the way you think about future events that may be similar to that, something that might happen in the future. Let's say it's a job interview that didn't go very well. So how that happened, how that turned out, and your emotions connected to that could affect your feelings towards future job interviews, whether you've got one definitely coming up or you might have one in the future. So by changing the one in the past can affect how you feel towards the ones in the future. And when you walk into, or you go into a job interview with a fresh mind, and you're thinking, you're expecting things to go well, there's more chance that things will go well. And this is just basic psychology. It's not me being all wise. It's just basic research has proven this over the last 100 years or something. So what we're going to do is, I'd like you to think of a memory from the past. I'm going to think of one myself. So it's going to be recent, because I'm getting old now, so my memories aren't I just can't always remember stuff. So I'm going to think of something that's worried me. And I'm also coming from a place of needless worry. Being worried about something that there's no need to be worried about it. Because if we went back, and if you could divide your memories that you're worried about in between those that maybe, is a valid worry, is a valid thing to be concerned about, compared to something that, maybe not. And then you got those, and you think about it like, why? That doesn't even make sense. So you just get rid of those straight away. Get rid of those two, and then focus on the one where you really think, well, maybe, is it worth worrying? I don't know. But then what do you gain from it? Is there anything to gain from worrying about things that have happened in the past? I guess we can learn. We can learn from things that happened in the past. And I say that we because I wish I learned a bit more from the past. I'm always, working on it. So, if you focus on something that happened recently that you're worried about it, you're worried about what happened, maybe you're concerned about the repercussion or concerned it might happen again or whatever. It could be connected with the future as well. And when you focus on that thing, I'm going to focus on something as well now. So, right. So I'm focusing on something that I'm worried about, and I'm just thinking about it now. And the reality is, there's no reason for me to be worried about that thing. It's more a case of, I wonder how people feel, and because I didn't turn up for an event that I was, well, not an event, but a thing that I said I was going to go to, and because I fell asleep, and like, what does it really matter? I mean, generally, it doesn't matter. It was the most unimportant thing ever. And I started worrying about, how are they going to feel, and just then it went on to something else, and it went to something else, and just that had nothing to do with it. So if I started the core of it, the actual event, so I've got a picture, even though I didn't go, I've got kind of a picture of what I didn't go to, which is weird, because if I think of the actual event, I was in bed asleep. So there was no image of the event because the event didn't happen. But I had the feeling afterwards that, I didn't go. So I know what the event would look like. So if you could think of an event, I mean, you might find, I don't know why this happens sometimes, but you might find that when you do think about something from the past, that it's changed already. Who knows why? I guess it's a little bit like, when sometimes you go to a dentist with a toothache and you get there and the toothache's not there anymore. Or you go to a doctor and you've got pain in your back and the back pain's gone. And you're like trying to get the back pain back. Even though you don't want the back pain, you want the doctor to be able to touch it and the part of your back, and you can go, ow, that's where it is, so the doctor could do something to help you. But it's not doing that because it's just vanished. It's a little bit just, and then it doesn't come back. Like, why did I go there to start with? That happened once to me years ago. I woke up and I had pain in my chest and my back. And I thought, don't like this, so I'm going to the hospital. I get into the shower, and by the time I'd finished the shower, I had no pain left. I mean, some would argue maybe it was just I was so dirty that the dirt had crusted. I got my muscles, and that's why I was hurting. No, that's not the reason, I don't think. Probably the hot water, the stretching. It was skeletal or muscular or something. I was fine. This is like 15 years ago. So sometimes things just change on their own. And there was a study done where people who had to wait to have psychotherapy or even help with pain, those that were given placebos and those just had to wait. So there's three people, three lots of people. One that got seen and got given medication. One that got no medication, or they didn't know they didn't get any medication, a placebo, so it's a study. And the other group weren't seen during that 6 weeks period. They had to wait. And it turned out that the people that had to wait felt just as good as the people who had the medication at the end of the 6 weeks, because a lot of people had the pain had dissolved, the body had healed itself, or their mind, oh, just bang the microphone, their mind had just done what it needed to do, or it just didn't bother them anymore. So if you think about this thing from the past, do a recent thing, a recent past thing. Just notice the colours. Maybe it's a moving image, but you can just have a still image if you like a photograph, and just imagine it in your mind. And, notice the colours if you can. And one thing you can do is just choose a colour. Don't worry, it's not a magic trick. Choose a colour, any colour. Choose a colour, extract that colour from that picture. Leave all the other colours there, just extract that one colour. Just notice how that feels. Emotionally. Not just that, and notice what things you're saying to yourself in your head, what words you're saying, because that's something else. That might be the main thing that's going on. So notice what you're saying to yourself. Notice what's going on inside your mind, how active your mind is. And I do realise that when you listen to me, your mind will automatically, generally, just start to slow down. That tends to be what happens. And the self-chatter, some of that negative stuff starts to drift away, just starts to drop off. But just notice, I mean, it never comes back either, but just notice what you are feeling. Now you've taken that one bit of colour out. Now if you can hear Vinny in the background deciding to clean himself. We can use that word clean himself, but I think there's more going on there. So for me, it's quieter. I'm more auditory than visual as a person. And, sometimes it's not necessarily so much that there's words, but it can feel overwhelming. It's like noise, but not noise. It's pressure, stress, tension, whatever you want to call it, connected to a memory. It feels like, and those words and maybe that noise is connected to the emotion. But as you take out another colour, choose a different colour, maybe red, green, blue, whatever it might be. Maybe it's a person, just take that person out of the picture if you want to. And take that colour out, or whatever, and do that again, another one. And just drain it out, let it just turn, gone, it's gone, that colour's gone. It doesn't bother me at all now, I'll be honest. I found my shoulders just relaxed. Ah. For me, it's more about my mind feeling calm. When my mind is calm, everything else follows suit. And now, if you want to make it even more, if there's more work to do, if there's still some emotion left, if it's negative, if it's positive emotion, yay, good. If there's any negative emotion left that's connected to the worry that you used to have, then just drain all the colour out of that picture or that video so it's black and white. So like, just suck it out. And just notice how you feel. And it's not just how you feel, like emotionally. How do you feel physically? How do you feel in your mind? Is your mind calmer? Is your jaw more relaxed? Are your shoulders more relaxed? Just things like that. And now, as we move forward towards something that's definitely going to happen, or not definitely, but something that you're planning to do. So, as I said, for example, a job interview. If you've got a job interview Monday or whatever, something that you've got someone coming around to inspect your property, or whatever it might be that perhaps is causing worry, that then leads to, stress, anxiety, whatever emotions are connected to that. So just think about that thing. And I realised that it might be even harder now as you think about the thing in the future that is very possibly going to happen, something you've got organised already, to think about that event without actually just naturally feeling relaxed, because something's changed, but it's okay. We can still try and get some of those feelings back. It might not work, but we can try and get some of the feelings back, and then we can just do what we did before and just reduce it to a level that you're comfortable. I mean, you might have feelings, but they might be different now. You might be surprised, and as you think about that future event, which you know is coming up, and instead of dreading it, maybe how you were before, maybe you're dreading it, but you're worried about it before, perhaps something's changed and you feel different. You just feel different. Something like you can't necessarily explain why, but now you think about that thing, it's not how it was. And perhaps the negative emotions have cleared, so you can now experience the positive emotions connected to that future event. So changing worry to, it could be excitement, could be something you're looking forward to, it could just be something that you're mildly interested in, the outcome. It might just be something that you, instead of thinking about the event, and I know I keep talking about job interviews, but it's just an example. Instead of thinking about the job interview, you might now be thinking about past the job interview, the starting the job, how it's going to change your life in a positive way, for example. And if you can think of something in the future that's still bothering you a bit, something that still feel you kind of got a bit of worry about, think about that thing now. with me. Well, we'll be thinking about different things because we're different people. So I'm going to think about something that there is a particular thing actually that I'm a little bit been thinking about lately. Let's see if I can think about it. That's changed. Wow. In fact, I can't even grab it anymore. I used to be able to get hold of it. This is a recent thing. It's an appointment that's got someone. Finny, can you make a bit more noise, please? Thank you. I can't actually. Excuse any background sound. It's just my little boy. So I'm trying to think of the. I can think of the thing that I was worried about before. But I can't get those emotions back. I can't get that worry back. That's weird. It was something I was really concerned about, to be honest. It's in a couple of weeks, so I've kind of put it off. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, and all that stuff. And it was a little bit overwhelming, so I've kind of pushed it away. But now I've allowed it back. I'm like, oh, that's very strange. So I can't make any changes with that. If you're able to find something and you got something with the color, the picture, whether it's video or picture, and there's still some worry connected to it, then if we just do the same thing as what you did before, take one color out first. One color, just pick a color, it doesn't matter. Green, orange, blue, black, yellow, and just take that color out, drain it out, just suck it out, and notice how that changes the feelings connected. And now I'd like you to imagine taking the rest of the colours out, so the picture or the video turns black and white. Now just notice how it feels now. Notice how it changes. Maybe notice how surprised you are that it's changed. Those emotions that were connected to it before have reduced or disappeared altogether. Noticing how your body feels more relaxed, your mind has slowed down. And now I'd like to think of something, I'm going to try and think of something myself that hasn't happened yet, that might happen, that I was worried about before. Um, mm, 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 mm. I can't think of anything. Can you think of anything? I just feel relaxed. Do you feel relaxed? Maybe that's what it is. It's when you feel relaxed, things like that just disappear. Maybe me talking to you has bored it away. It's possible. Me and my boring voice. Perhaps it's a state of mind. Maybe I'm just distracted by my little doggy, Vinny, trying to find ways to annoy me with his noise. Oh, bless him. So, yeah, I can't think of anything. Maybe if you can think of something that you were concerned about or worried about, but do the same thing. Um, and you can play around with this whole technique and just let me know how you get on. So I'm going to bring this recording to an end. Remember to be kind to yourself because you deserve to be happy, and be gentle with yourself. Lots of love.